Hey everybody, welcome back, and this is our sixth and final video on the Blue Umbrella, or at least I really hope it's final, because I would love to finish these today. I mean, I do them all in one sitting, and it's perfectly run through, and it's not exhausting for me at all. But here we go, we're going to talk about the climactic action, and the end, and its broader implications, and yeah. Cool. Check the tags if you stumbled upon this video and have no idea what you're watching. Anyways, I'm Lily Holman, and let's get started. So, if you remember when we left off, the human was very understandably going down into the subway to avoid a big rainstorm. But this was very unfortunate for our Blue Umbrella protagonist because it meant getting separated from his Red Umbrella love interest. And so he fights and fights and fights, and with the help of a gust of wind, gets away from his human. He breaks free. So that's where we're starting. So the wind is a clever way of keeping this somewhat in the realm of the possible in the eyes of the humans in the film, because it's another subtle explanation for the magic, like the black umbrella is hiding the human's view. This world has rules, so that anything magical must have been hidden or explained by a natural phenomenon. So, as V.F. Perkins, our friend, says, quote, "In a fictional world where anything at all can happen, nothing can mean or matter." End quote. So this is not the dream world of Red's dream, where metal can be bent without consequence, and one slip in the rules means that the potential for this version of the city to exist is lost. So they have to be very careful about what they do here. And the humans in the film cannot know that the umbrellas are alive in order to maintain that the imaginations of the humans in the audience can stay active. So the next minute is a deceptive emotional beat. So it's this kind of brush chaos of the storm, but it is also a false beat of relief. So the umbrella flies through the air, and we get his perspective. And we also get the perspective of the buildings watching him, and we see him reflected in this wall of windows. It's this gorgeous, gorgeous shot. And the shots are mostly wide shots, so we get to appreciate both the umbrella and his city. So it is a Luna-like moment of visual splendor. You notice how many short films I'm referencing as we talk about this. Like I said, this is a hybrid piece, and they're really using everything. So this is La Luna-like. So it's visual splendor as the umbrella floats along, and it also takes advantage of the fact that this film was originally screened in 3D. And to add to that wonder, it is accompanied by a change in music to a more sweeping, graceful score. And the atmosphere adjusts to the emotions of the Blue Umbrella, just like the filmmakers practiced doing in Red's Dream and perfected in Bounded and Partly Cloudy. Once again, this lives up to the Perkins standard of synthesis, where, quote, "there is no distinction between content and form," end quote. So this is the Blue Umbrella's great adventure. So the way it is filmed and the music and the visuals are going to reflect that. The story justification for the moment is that the Blue Umbrella is searching the city for the Red Umbrella. He has abandoned all else, and this is his only purpose. The justification is that this provides an emotional swell before a jarring and crushing deflation. So this is when it's going to get dark, guys. And it has been... I've joked about the darkness of other shorts, like Knick Knack, but this is going to actually take it to a scarier place. And don't worry, it's going to have a happy ending, but it's just interesting how dark it goes before it comes back with its happy ending. And it's just kind of shows you how much they can test the boundaries, and it also shows you that I don't think you come out of the Blue Umbrella remembering how dark it gets. It really, because it's framed in such happiness and optimism, like you forget how much they earned that. And remember what we're called. It's all connected. So as the Blue Umbrella spots the Red Umbrella, the music switches back to the romantic theme, and it appears that a reunion is imminent. It's almost cruel. They give you this moment where they think it's gonna work out, and sadly, a bus immediately drives him off course before he can get to her. A bus literally hits, or blows him past. It's jarring, it's almost stereotypical, but we're not thinking about that in the moment. And after he is hit, the music goes silent, and only the noises of the city remain. So it's a shock for the blue umbrella and the audience. Yet, if it were that easy to get back to her, the film would actually not be worth watching. It would fall in the realm of Boundin, where the solution was just almost too easy. So instead, our hero needs to prove his love with a series of obstacles greater than simply breaking free from his owner. So it exposes part of the power of the film, which is that it raises the stakes for a somewhat small and simple problem. Finding the girl he likes becomes a story of life and death, where each obstacle is a catastrophe, and getting her back is proof that the umbrella was worthy all along. Meanwhile, by setting the film in a city and providing those endless streams of black umbrellas, it gives the audience a feeling that if he loses this umbrella now, he will never get her back. So with these high stakes in place and the audience as emotionally involved as possible, the filmmakers can move on to the sequence they've been building towards this whole time, which is the city objects using their powers to save the umbrella. So the sequence engages on two levels. First, there is the sheer cleverness of each object using its basic function to help save the blue umbrella. It has the comedic structure of knick-knack, lifted, and presto, with a variety of solutions presented to solve one problem. But in this case, there is no humor in failure. This is not a funny sequence, and the success means so much more. So examples of those solutions include the turn signal blinking faster and faster to get a cab's attention before it hits the umbrella, the gutter gushing water at the umbrella to move it out of the way of the oncoming car, or the caution board flipping over to launch the umbrella out of the street. These objects have the same problem as the blue umbrella did in the beginning of the film, which is that they are only capable of doing what they are built to do so. So part of the appeal is now us trying to figure out how they're going to apply their ability to the situation. So it relates back to Perkins' rules. Quote, "The rules provide a basis, not a substitute for skilled and exciting play," end quote. What he means here is that by giving themselves the limitations that these creatures may only use their basic functions to save the blue umbrella, and that these moments of agency must still look mechanical to the people within the film, the filmmakers are forcing themselves to be more creative, and they succeed. So there is no jackalope to run out and explain the problem and solution to the drivers and the people. Instead, the blue umbrella must be saved using the pre-existing flow of the city. It means that these objects can only do so much to save the blue umbrella, and that is part of the second level engagement, which is the fear the sequence inspires. This is a terrifying sequence, like I said, especially compared to other Pixar films. The cars rushing at the umbrellas could mean certain death for him, and the audience can relate because we would be just as vulnerable in the situation. The photorealism, meanwhile, only makes it worse because these cars look real. There is no safety net of our cartoonish look that invokes cartoon physics and all the levels of protection those physics provide. Meanwhile, we are trapped in our seats and the objects are trapped by their own limitations, so all we can do is sit and watch and hope for the best. Since this umbrella is such an innocent and has such benign intentions, it is hard not to cringe when each car comes by. So, the climax of the film, after all this, is a similar bait and switch as Partly Cloudy. So in one of Pixar's darkest moments, if you thought the lava coming up turned around the wrong way was dark, wait till you see or hear about this. So the filmmakers give a perspective of a truck driver as he hits the blue umbrella. The grate had tried to launch steam at the umbrella to get him out of the way, but it had failed and sent him barreling into the truck. It is the worst case scenario, and the screen goes black. Based off of everything that has been presented to us and our common sense, we actually assume that the blue umbrella is dead. So it's a bit like the end of Toy Story 3. It's just like oh my gosh, they actually went there. But not really. So the scene that the dark fades into looks like a more depressing version of the opening sequence. The rain has quieted, but the light has a grayish tone to it, and the city noises have taken all over again. So it's reminiscent of the depressing return to reality in Red's dream. The thing is, while this world is kind of calmed down, it also appears to no longer be magical. We cannot see the umbrella's face, and we can only see his broken form, and the level of detail the look allows incorporates dirt streets and wrinkles to make the umbrella look completely vulnerable. This is actually the image that inspired the film. Unseld saw a broken umbrella in the street and wondered what happened to him. So all of the blue umbrella's injuries are evidence of the drama that just unfolded, and the sheer amount of effort the blue umbrella put into trying to get back to the red umbrella. So he is a fallen hero, but still a hero. And the Great and Gutters are all still alive, but they are frowning now and pushing at the umbrella to see if he is okay, but he still remains unresponsive. So ultimately the community is mourning along with the audience. This is, however, not Red's dream, so the umbrella is actually given a happy ending. First, the blue owner appears and picks up the umbrella. This is only a partial victory, though, because though we see Blue's face and know that he is indeed alive, so even though we see that, he looks as if he is in pain, and he also looks sad since he tried so hard but still failed. And he is alive but injured and has yet to reach his goal. So he earned his love, yet was stopped by something completely out of his control. So, it is in this moment, though, that the filmmakers play with sound and color to fulfill hopes and invoke the magic of cinema. This is a great time to refer back to Scott Higgins' essay on this. So, the rain that had been falling stops, and a red tint appears on the blue umbrella. So with these clues in mind, the blue umbrella can look up to see the red umbrella looking worried about him. It's a bit of Deus Ex Umbrella. Yay. I love that joke. It's one of the few jokes I actually included. But the audience has already been put through enough of an emotional roller coaster that it feels like a relief as opposed to a cheat. Since we also know from the flying sequence that the red umbrella was close this whole time, it is not out of the realm of possibility that she witnessed his harrowing adventure. And this is a thin explanation, but because we wanted this to happen so badly, we accept it. It still feels earned simply because this community and this umbrella are so lovable and so determined that it feels as if they deserve a win. Meanwhile, the blue umbrella even has the scars to prove that he earned this, and I think that's a bigger point to make. He did earn this, even if it's a bit out of the blue. Again, no pun intended. So, as Perkins says, quote, "Regardless of the playfulness of a film, our drive is to hope for the most satisfying resolution that credibility allows," end quote. This also fits his theory of synthesis, seen as it makes sense narratively, and it fulfills our emotional needs. Having the red umbrella come back is both satisfying and credible within this magical, positive world, so we accept it. It also speaks to the studio as a whole that they even attempted to make this plausible. Since anything is possible in this medium, the filmmakers could have tacked on an implausible happy ending like The Antelope and Boundin, and it could have technically worked. So the filmmakers want us to believe, however, and by including the realistic, plausible details, it makes it even easier to do so. By refusing to break the rules, even in the service of a happy ending, they keep the possibility of this world being real open. And it also exposes a level of care and consideration that is evident in every Pixar film. By keeping their films plausible, the emotions attached to them feel real, and therefore the messages included in these films resonate more. The ultimate win is confirmed as the music starts up again with the jaunty score from before, and there's yet another smiling montage of the various city objects as they watch the humans go on a date with their umbrellas. So the umbrella's final cuddle confirms that the blue umbrella got his wish, and he will never be separated from the red umbrella ever again. Yay! Happy ending! And it makes for these great shorts that form a little heart, and I love it. Anyways, his determination and our optimism have been rewarded. Fighting and hoping for the good has triumphed over even the most unexpected of hindrances. So, with such a simple story, The Blue Umbrella is an emotional tour de force that uses every frame to increase the stakes and make the audience care. It takes advantage of previous Pixar strategies of creating likable underdog characters and imaginative landscapes in order to give the audience something to root for. Even though it has incredibly dark moments, it is an overwhelmingly positive film that sees the magic in mundane reality and envisions a loving infrastructure supporting our everyday lives. In the end, The Blue Umbrella is one of those, quote, obviously imaginative films, end quote, that Perkins refers to. It allows us to see the impossible in the most realistic of atmospheres, and by doing so partake in the optimism and victory of the good that believing in the incredible inspires. It is another embodiment of John Lasseter's quote, art challenges technology and technology inspires the art. In this case, the film took a technology that arguably threatened the medium and used it to exemplify what is best about the medium and what makes it an art. So, I love that statement, and I'm going to say a little bit more just to tack on to conclude the chapter, but if there was ever a summary of this channel, why I love Pixar, why I love The Blue Umbrella, it's that last chunk that I just said. It's incredible what they do with this movie. And if you remember nothing from the series, remember that. So, lastly, both Day and Night and The Blue Umbrella are meditations on the animation format. Day and Night is more overt in its purpose, using the story to examine the importance of engaging with the new as it engages with the new itself. The Blue Umbrella stumbles upon its engagement with the intellectual by attempting a new look and in doing so being forced to participate in a long-standing cinematic debate. While both films achieve what they set out to do, The Blue Umbrella is ultimately more emotionally engaging. This falls back to the old debate about showing as opposed to telling. In Day and Night, we are told to engage with the new, and the blogs are provided for us as examples. The immature and slightly violent nature makes it hard to truly feel for them, but their story is interesting enough to engage us, and the comedy is skillfully executed. The Blue Umbrella, by contrast, is entirely emotionally motivated. The filmmakers would rather we root for the protagonist than engage with an intellectual concept. Therefore, we spend less time thinking and more time feeling. In the end, this film is about falling in love, with an umbrella, with a city, and with life itself. It is only able to communicate this by engaging with intelligent thought about film and film's purpose. It uses the new technology not to engage with technology, but to say bigger things about the story. And it is why it is one of the most important films of the last 10 years. So, yay! Celebrate that for a while. I'll come back soon with some concluding statements about why I studied the shorts as a whole and how they engage with a particular sequence from the features. That sequence will make you cry. So let's see. It won't be much of a spoiler because it's the opening sequence from the Up montage. If you haven't seen Up, I highly encourage you go watch it. It's a gorgeous film. I know it's a lot more homework than I usually give you. But if not, just watch the first 15 minutes or so, and you'll get what I'm talking about. And as always, I will give pretty in-depth explanations, but it is very worth it, and you don't want your first exposure of it to be me talking to you about it. You want to see it and feel it, and probably cry. And I'm kind of sorry about that, but only kind of. Anyways, I will see you soon. Alright, talk to you later.